Starting the podcast off with a verbal meme. It's the Franco meme with the noose around his neck. I just wanted to enjoy a full Victory Monday. First time? Jason Aponte, play the music. News right off the podcast. I'm Andrew Pasquini, joined as always by Jason Aponte. Niners won yesterday, but at what cost, I guess? Not as serious as it could be, but there's some injuries to talk about, of course, because this is a 49ers podcast, and all we ever do is talk about injuries. But Jason, first and foremost, as always, how are you doing on this lovely Monday?
Amazing, man. Amazing. Preparing to watch my parlay get cooked right in front of me within 5-10 minutes. You better watch your back, Andrew Pasquini, because I'm just gonna come beat your ass once this parlay does not hit. But
Sorry,
other than that, everything's rolling, man. Looking forward to watching Jordan Mason play football and help out one of my fantasy teams.
Before we dive into the 49ers news of the day, allow people to kind of jump in as we tend to do for the podcast.
Yeah.
What a fucking football game last night, pal.
Man.
What a football game. And like you, Bills Ravens, you knew going in you would be in for a treat. You would be in for a treat.
Instant classic.
Lamar Jackson, maybe the best player in football, not named Jake Tongas. Josh Allen, the second best quarterback in football behind Lamar.
I wouldn't want Lamar Jackson on my team. He doesn't win from the pocket.
You remember when all 31 teams had a chance to get him like 2 years ago? And no, everybody's like, the Falcons were like, dude, you know what? Who was the Falcons quarterback at that time? Anyways, it was who was it?
I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. It's not better than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. But man, that game last night was the ultimate I love football game. Like it had everything. It had the big game feel. It had the moment where it's like, okay, like, and I think I saw you tweet at Jason, and I saw not just you, a lot of people. How are you going to beat the Ravens? How are you going to beat the Ravens? And it ends up, apparently, the way you beat the Ravens is you give them a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter.
Jesus
and they'll
Christ.
just piss all over themselves.
Can we start something now? Because I'm tired of the Kyle Shanahan can't close and blows games. John Harbaugh, you are the choker. You are the choker. It's not Kyle Shanahan. It's you. It's the other Harbaugh. The one can't close the big game, and the other one blows all the big games. But Kyle Shanahan's the one who gets all the blame. Sorry. I yelled a little bit there.
Well, I didn't expect to be hurt by that game last night, but then I saw a tweet today that, John Harbaugh's recent late game collapses kind of make you wonder how they won that Super Bowl back in 2012. And I didn't expect to be hurt today by it, but yeah, it makes you wonder. But man, what a game that was. I mean, Derrick Henry is a specimen, a football specimen.
We have to start talking about whether he's the greatest of all time right now.
We got to have I think my favorite stat I saw last night is he's still 600 yards away from
his senior year.
It's 4 years in high school.
He ran for 4,200 yards in his senior year in high school.
And he 12,000 in 4 years in high school, and he's played 10 years in the NFL, and he still needs 600 yards to surpass. If you haven't got the chance, go watch Derrick Henry high school film, or go watch. Go YouTube it.
Andrew Pasquini, imagine you're a 16-year-old safety, and you're coming through the hole, and you see Derrick Henry running at you in high school with a full head of steam. This is the reason that kids have CTE. And I would never allow any of my sons to play football. You're muted.
That was such a good joke that I muted myself on accident. I went back and watched his high school film. There was one play where Derrick Henry took the ball down the left sideline, and there was maybe a 5'6", 110-pound safety chasing him down in the hallways. Like, there's no way, pal. Man, what a football game last night that we were treated to. Baltimore versus Buffalo. If you haven't had a chance, go back and watch that game, because that's just straight football porn, to be 1,000% honest. That game had everything in it, down to the comeback. What a game. Hey, now we're here. We've been here for 5 minutes. We've talked about Ravens. Bills enough. 49ers win yesterday, 17-13 over the Seattle Seahawks. Unfortunately, in true Niner fashion, though, Oh, we're not going to start with that. We're going to kind of cover today's news in reverse chronological order. So the most recent news we're going to talk about first, and then we will work our way. Oh my God, Ozzy's correct. Holy shit, Jason, I need to be back. I need to come back. Hang on. Can you talk for 3 seconds?
Yeah.
Ozzy has a point. Hang on.
Yeah. So this is my victory hat now, sponsored by Foco. Also, by the way, guys, go to Foco and buy all of your 49ers gear there as well too, man. They sent me a bunch of nice stuff, and this is the hat I'm probably gonna start wearing, for Victory Mondays. But yesterday watching the game again, it's back.
It's all
watching the game again, it helps to watch it a second time because you have all the emotions and everything, and the one good thing about the All 22, while I agree it's not fun to watch because I don't care what anybody says, like I watch the film not because I enjoy it, is because I want to be informed. It's not fun, but it is fast, and you get to see play after play, but you don't get to see the little stuff in between. A few more things jumped out to me. I thought Upton Stout looked much better, towards the end of that game. I thought Sammy O in 15 snaps was absolutely electric. I thought Colton McKivitz was really good, and we're gonna talk about him in a little bit because he just got the bag. I'm nervous about Trent Williams.
Yeah,
I'm officially nervous about Trent Williams.
He looked every bit of a veteran who does not practice a lot on Sunday, and I think that's a fair way to put it. But Jason, let's start with the news of today before we really dive into yesterday. Let's start with the most recent, go in reverse chronological order. Adam Schefter threw out a tweet. Shanahan said it, but Schefter tweet: Brock Purdy has a left shoulder and toe injury that make him uncertain for Sunday's game in New Orleans. Kyle Shanahan said the team will see how practice this week goes. If Purdy cannot play, 49ers backup quarterback Mac Jones would be in line to start. And I believe I saw it was a left shoulder. I just read the tweet. It was a left shoulder, so non-throwing shoulder. It makes sense, though, because Brock Purdy's passes did not have a bunch of zip on it yesterday. You didn't really – I mean, you saw it. It felt like every interception he threw was a lollipop. He almost threw another one that Reek Woolen had to kind of get his fingertip on that should have been Ricky Pearsall's touchdown. I understand football is a very violent sport. It just feels like Brock Purdy picks up a lot of these knocks, and a lot of players play through injury. And it always seems like anytime Purdy has a knock, it threatens his games. And I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's a negative. It's football, man. I'm not going to sit here and say my body could take a football season, because I think if I took any hit Brock Purdy took yesterday, I'd be dead. So listen, it's not.
I stepped out of bed the other day the wrong way, and my thigh hurts.
For example, I mean, Bad Bunny may have popped his knee yesterday doing a little dance move on stage, right?
No way. No. Is that true? Don't say that.
I don't know if he popped it, but did you see he definitely he tweaked it?
No, I didn't. And that's the worst news. Forget Brock Purdy. Is this
the injury that gets you the most? Is Bad
That's
Bunny
the worst news. Forget Brock Purdy. Forget George Kittle. What the hell are we talking about? Bad Bunny's injured. What the? Hold on. No, I'm gonna crash out.
I'll send you the video. No, you don't want to see it. But no, listen, it's this thing of, it just feels like Purdy comes out of a lot of games with some sort of injury. And I get it. It's football. It's violent. You get hurt, all that fun stuff. But it always seems to threaten games for him. And I don't know what that means. I don't need a reaction for it. It's just something I've observed, Jason Aponte. Dare I say, I'm creating content with this take of, it's just interesting that Brock Purdy picks up a lot of these little injuries, and it tends to threaten his games quite frequently. That's really all I got on it.
Well, look, if you're a 49ers fan who's going down to New Orleans,
Mac Jones versus
Mac Jones against Spencer Rattler.
I can see why this was a 10 a.m. slot and not a primetime game.
Look, I wanted so badly to go to New Orleans. I wanted so badly to go because New Orleans is a top 2 city in the United States to visit. And I've never been to the Superdome. And if you guys don't know, is it called the Superdome or is it called whatever it is?
Mercedes-Benz
The
Superdome, I think the name is.
Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Okay. They have 3 blocks of tailgates. One is just gumbo, one is just fish, one is just hot dogs and hamburgers. That sounds amazing. But God, if you spent all that money to go down there and you end up with Mac Jones against Spencer Rattler, the NFL owes you money for emotional distress and at least a little bit back because that's not an expensive ticket. I mean, it's not a cheap ticket. It's a very expensive ticket. And then a football game is even more of an expensive ticket. And my God, man, you can't even. I mean, I guess the NFL is just trying to make it seem like the 49ers have a chance to lose to the Saints. I don't care if Mac Jones plays. I don't care if Tanner Mordecai plays. They're not going to lose to the Saints. But yeah, you got to feel a little bit bad about the people that have like traveled to New Orleans and been looking forward to this for the entire season.
Yeah, and listen, it doesn't sound like it's a serious injury. If anything, he's only going to miss one game. It's just it adds to a laundry list of injuries Purdy has had throughout his career, and that's like the nerve-wracking thing about it, right? Is it's another one, and it's just getting to a point because, like, again, I don't want to compare him to Josh Allen or any, like, you see all the injuries Josh Allen picks up and he never seems to miss games too frequently. And Purdy, I'm not trying to question his toughness because he's a tough player, but it's just he gets all these little injuries here and there and it always seems to cost him games. And we still don't even know necessarily if it's going to cost him this game yet, but the fact that that's the first thing Shanahan's mentioning makes me think that we are en route to a McCorkle Jones start, which is not something you want to see this early in the season. You don't want to test Mac Jones, especially because, like, I know, Jason, the Niners should beat the Saints with Mac Jones, right? They should beat him with Tanner Mordecai. The Saints came kind of close to beating the Cardinals yesterday. I'm not going to sit here and say the Cardinals and the Niners are on the same level, but I guess it's an any given Sunday type situation where I'd rather Brock Purdy be out there and take my chances with him than Mac Jones. And I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. It's just something that is very constant. It's a constant of every time Purdy plays, it seems like he picks something up.
Well, just get it out of the way now. And this is the perfect time. You know what's funny is the 49ers beating the Seahawks has changed the outlook of the rest of these games that you know, the way you think about it. Is that Caleb Williams for a touchdown? Oh, wow.
Caleb Williams for a touchdown.
Thanks a lot. He's cooking my parlay already. So the thing is this.
I'm in danger.
Thank God the 49ers have this stretch of games.
Yes.
And that's why it was so important to win on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Not only a divisional game, but that was easily the toughest game of your first 4. Yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Carolina Panthers, but God, that game sucked. And it just wasn't like Brian Thomas had one catch and the touchdown he had was on like a runner. Like again, we don't know what these guys are, what these teams are, but right now, like, you can get by right now. This is why the injury news about Brock, about Kittle, about Jennings, it probably is happening at the right time because the 49ers can still beat these teams. When it's really going to matter is when they face the Rams on Thursday Night Football. That's when everybody needs to be back. That's it. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, they got about 3 weeks to get ready. October 2nd against the Rams. That is the Thursday night game Jason's referencing. They got the Cardinals and the Jaguars, or sorry, the Saints, Cardinals, and Jaguars in between then. So that's really the game. But yeah, as I was trying to say yesterday, instant reaction. You know, the schedule, the reason the win yesterday is so important, not just because it's a division game and all, it's the Seahawks. It's the schedule's very easy the next couple of weeks, right? And now you're looking at 1-0 that could easily be a 4-0 if you just, I mean, to take Bill Belichick's saying, do your job, just do your job and go win football games. And now it's just one extra question, and we're going to talk about a couple other question marks here in a second. That you don't necessarily feel great about. But again, the Niners, especially with the performance we saw from the defense yesterday, like, the Niners should be able to go into New Orleans with Mac Jones as their quarterback and a win. Plain and simple, full stop.
If they don't, we have a bigger problem.
Yeah, that listen, if the Niners lose to the Saints on Sunday with Mac Jones, it's going to be a depressing instant reaction. I'm looking forward to it either way, but it's going to be a depressing instant reaction.
We have a bigger question to ask about the 49ers if they lose to the New Orleans Saints. Legitimately, I really don't understand legitimately. And this is me not even being hyperbolic or jumping out the window. I legitimately struggle with how the New Orleans Saints are going to win a single NFL football game this season.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If it happens to be week 2, then whatever. You guys get to, make your jokes about me. But my goodness, man, they are barren and not good at all at anything. And the fact that the Cardinals, we're kind of struggling with them, I'm going to chalk it up to week 1. Because week 1 was very weird, right? The Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow threw for 114 yards against the Cleveland Browns. Divisional
7
game.
yards in the second half. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. He has 7 more yards than I did, and I wasn't even playing football. Week 1 is not the time for the overreactions. But I didn't have to watch the New Orleans Saints play a single snap of football to not think that they have no chance at winning any single football game because they fucking stink, and so does Spencer Rattler. So, yeah, if the 49ers can't beat the New Orleans Saints with Mac Jones and Ricky Pearsall and Christian McCaffrey and the greatest tight end of all time, Jake Tonjes, and this defense, the 49ers defense is really good. We have to have a different conversation about the 49ers. I don't care who's playing quarterback. If you lose to the New Orleans Saints, we have to have a different conversation.
Yeah. Jake Tonjes is so good, you might have to give him the number 9. Jason, we talked about Brock Purdy already. Let's talk about the more significant injury here. George Kittle expected to be sidelined multiple weeks with a hamstring injury. I kind of had that feeling with how quickly he pulled himself out of the game and how quickly he was ruled out. I want this to be I see it in the chat already, the next man up mentality. But this one hurts, especially in tandem with Jauan Jennings. You don't necessarily know what's going on with Jennings, but now there's a chance where you enter Sunday against the Saints and your top 3 pass catchers are Ricky Pearsall, Christian McCaffrey, and no disrespect, Jake Tonjes. Like Kendrick Bourne?
No. Kendrick Bourne.
Kendrick Bourne. He's there. We'll talk about him in a little bit.
Can we talk about can we just say this real quick? Kendrick Bourne is probably one of the smartest people in the history of the world. By the way. Just for you know what? I'm going to sit around and I'm going to wait and see what happens in Washington and San Francisco, and then I'll come back. This man and his agent, they cooked a masterclass.
Max value of $5 million for 1
Good
year.
for him. Good for him.
Great for him. And he it paid off because, again, in combination with the George Kittle injury, Jauan Jennings had an MRI on his shoulder yesterday, came back clean, still waiting on a CT scan. They avoided the worst. We don't really know where Jauan Jennings is in terms of his recovery right now. But yeah, Kendrick Bourne probably going to step up and have a big role in this offense already. I mean, it's a team that's missing a lot of receivers. So I mean, you're going into week 2. I mean, who would have thought we're going into week 2 with the Niners' best pass catchers being Ricky Pearsall and Kendrick Bourne?
Ricky Pearsall is pretty good though. I'm very happy about that. That's it. I watched every single Ricky Pearsall route. And I have good news, 49ers fans.
Shout out Jordan Elliott. I love that. I love that. I don't know if he saw that from somebody, but or if he was the one who started it. I giggle every time I see him.
Between that and can I say something? It's literally my favorite things in the world. It's like Jordan for the people that don't know,
person ever.
Yeah, for the people that don't understand is. When Jordan says, "Can I say something?" or "I have good news," he's literally not gonna follow it up with nothing more. No more extra context.
I need a silent spaces back.
Silent spaces are fire, yo. Me and Jordan haven't done one since the Vegas draft when we thought the Debo was about to get traded. We literally opened up a space and it was just me and him as hosts, and we just put our mics on mute and people are in there. We had 200 people in the chat for 20 minutes of us just not saying a word.
Nobody's saying nothing.
Devon Achane gets it though. He gets it.
Devon Achane, yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Yeah. Daniel makes a good point here though, because this is what you're kind of working towards, especially with Ricky Pearsall's development this season. Is like this is the dream right here. Is you get to week 6, week 7, week 8, and even if Brandon Ayuk isn't 100% of what he was, if Ricky Pearsall continues what he did yesterday. Like this is a passing attack, and that doesn't even include Christian McCaffrey. Because I mean, how many catches did McCaffrey have yesterday, Jason? Do you have that number in front of you?
He had 22 rushes, 9 catches, I believe.
Yeah, 31 touches. So yeah, so like McCaffrey's obviously going to play an impact there. Which, by the way, completely unrelated, Jason. McCaffrey having 9 catches for 73 yards. Did you see Jahmyr Gibbs day yesterday?
Yes,
10 catches for 31 yards. That's great. I don't even know how you do that.
It's almost impossible.
But Daniel Garcia, like this is the dream right here. If Pearsall continues this trend, like this is huge, but we got to get to that point right now, right? There is no Jennings, there is no Kittle for the time being. So now what is it? And there might not be a Brock Purdy on Sunday. So like, what does this passing game look like on Sunday? Ideally, it's enough to beat the Saints. Jason, maybe a little bit too early into the week to preview it, but what are your vibes right now with the Saints game going into Tuesday morning?
Look, watching that game back, Trey Benson and James Conner, they had their way running the football. I think you can still do that in this game with Brian Robinson and Christian McCaffrey. Ricky Pearsall is certainly enough against this team. I'm not worried. Look, again, you don't want injuries to happen. And you don't want to take opponents for granted. But if the 49ers struggle to beat the New Orleans Saints with Spencer Rattler as their quarterback, with that defense as barren as it is, we've got a bigger problem. We've got a much bigger problem. And it's not because George Kittle didn't play. It's not because Brock Purdy didn't play. It's not because Juwan Jennings was out. None of that. Mac Jones and those guys, they should go in there and run rush out on them. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to be dismissive. I understand. I'm very humble when it comes to the football, world, because I understand any given Sunday, all of those things. I have a tough time figuring out how the New Orleans Saints score more points than another team and finish the game that way. I really just do. I like, what's wrong with like saying that? I don't think that's a problem.
No, and that's what it should be for the 49ers on Sunday, right? Like, it doesn't matter who it is, Mac Jones, fuck it, test Carter Bradley. Let's see what Carter Bradley can do, right? Like it shouldn't matter because
Adrian Martinez. What do you got, kid? Like, let's get out there.
At the end of the day, like, this defense should hold New Orleans to less than 7 points, right? Like, in a perfect world, and that means the offense has to do the bare minimum. Like the bare minimum. And like, so I just have a hard time. Jesus Christ. Caleb Williams looks like a different player. I just want to throw it out there. It just comes down to that. So I might be a little ahead of you, but I have a hard time imagining whether it is Purdy or it is Mac Jones. I have a hard time imagining that the injuries today necessarily impact it. And as you said, Jason, as long as they get healthy by the Rams game, nothing should be affected.
Think about this, 49ers fans, because I did some digging. The 49ers had 5 wide receivers run routes yesterday. 2 of them were targeted. The 2 were Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall. That Seattle's defense is far better than any defense they're going to face for a while. Yep. And they won. Now, there's context to how they won. There's things that happen. We don't know, how the little things add up. Seattle's better than New Orleans. The 49ers did what they did without all of their weapons. And it almost was comical when I looked at when I went into the numbers and I looked at who ran routes. Sky Moore had three snaps, if I'm not mistaken. Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Russell Gage. Those were the other 3 that ran routes. The 49ers had 5 wide receivers run routes yesterday. Yep. 2 of them were targeted. Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall. And the 49ers won. Yeah. And George Kittle didn't play.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Myself, I feel safe. I'm good with the New Orleans Saints. I don't want to dance around it. Okay. This is look, I was very cautious about week 1 Andrew. Was I not? I was very scared.
We're both
about.
We're both
Yeah, I was very. I'm not scared. Why would I be scared when you look at how it lines up stylistically? The 49ers have done more with less.
The only thing that scares me about the Saints is if they wear the yellow diamonds look like PP uniforms they wore yesterday, because those ugly.
Jerseys suck.
Those were bad. Those were objectively bad uniforms. Especially maybe it's a saving grace if they use the gold helmet instead of but those jerseys suck. So hopefully the Saints don't wear those on Sunday. That would be very nice for them not to, so I could at least watch the game with my eyes instead of just using my ears. But yeah, in terms of the Saints, we'll dive into that more on Friday. Let's talk about the news that this podcast was originally supposed to be about before all the injuries come out. And let's start with the big one. The 49ers, per Adam Schefter earlier this morning, and starting right tackle Colton McKivitz have reached agreement on a 3-year, $45 million extension, including $27 million guaranteed, per Doug Hendrickson and CJ LeBoy of Wasps Football. McKivitz was in his last year of the deal, and now he's contractually tied to San Francisco through 2028. This is a good signing. This is a good deal. This to me, this is a good deal. Listen, I know Colton McKivitz, people don't like him. People tend not to like him. But I think people don't like him because he is not a good offensive lineman. He's not a great offensive lineman. But what he is a starting quality offensive lineman. And that's all you need. And he's not the best. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass and say he is the best. However, he would have gotten significantly more money on the open market. He is taking a pay cut to be here. Because if he hit the open market, he would have gotten money. And now you're getting the production of a Mike McGlinchey, right? Like you saw McGlinchey's numbers last year compared to Colton McKivitz at a much cheaper deal. And I know I mentioned a couple years ago about the continuity on the offensive line. You bringing in Colton McKivitz for 3 more years and locking him up gives you that continuity. And now you also avoid a situation where you lose both tackles in the offseason because old man Trent Williams might retire after this season, and you're not going to lose Colton McKivitz now. So there is continuity along the offensive line. I understand the shock of waking up. I know West Coast people, at least Jason, you guys have the weird 3-hour difference. I woke up to this news at 8 a.m. That McKivitz extended. I know it was a shock to the West Coast fans that McKivitz signed an extension. At the end of the day, I think this is a relatively good deal for the 49ers to have.
You know what? I'll say this. That is a very, very, very savvy move by the 49ers front office.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is they got a steal of a deal when they did in-season deals with Dre Greenlaw. And whoever Lenore's agent is,
mm-hmm.
fire him now.
Yeah.
Because how did you sign that deal for that amount?
Mm-hmm.
The harsh truth is this. Right tackles, offensive tackles, are hard to come by. They don't grow on trees.
No.
And just drafting any single offensive tackle doesn't mean that they're going to be good. So, miss me with the Kingsley Suyamaida, like you should have drafted him. Miss me with the Roger Rosengarten, you should have drafted him. Neither of those guys are starters.
Mm-hmm.
Neither. And one of them lost their job to Jalen Moore. The 49ers are paying Colton McKivitz to start at right tackle and be an average right tackle, what the Chiefs are paying Jalen Moore to be a backup to Josh Simmons and Jawan Taylor.
Yep.
He doesn't have to be the best. He's certainly not the worst. You have to start looking at yourself and understanding whether you can evaluate offensive line properly. And I don't think, if you think that Colton McKivitz is the worst right tackle in football, I would implore you to watch other teams' right tackles. Watch other teams' offensive lines. And I guarantee you, they would say, man, we would love to have Colton McKivitz as our right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Colton McKivitz cut himself out of a bigger bag by signing this deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because he would have gotten way more in free agency. Way more. Great deal. Works perfectly. Fits fine. There goes Jordan Mason. I don't know how you trade a player like Jordan Mason. But Colton McKivitz, fine deal. you guys got to cope. And if you're gonna come into the comments and start saying that Colton McKivitz is garbage and trash and everything, I'll send you the Google Drive folder, and I want you to comb through everybody else's right tackles, and I want you to watch and see how many are not only not as good as Colton McKivitz, significantly worse, and some of them make a lot more money. That's all I'll say.
And that's what it is. That's why you make this deal now. You know, because if he does hit the open market and the Niners try to bring him back, the price by default goes up. And so by tying him up this early in the season, again, it just comes down to there's going to be a lot of questions on this offensive line over the next couple of years, because really before this morning, the only offensive lineman that I could guarantee you would be on the offensive line in 2026 was Dominic Puni, because, you know, Jake Brendel, he's already kind of getting a lot of shit. He's been getting shit. Ben Barch, in theory, should be the guy, but, you know, you don't know.
Highest graded run blocker on Sunday as well.
Just throwing it out there. But now you have the right side of your offensive line figured out for the next 3 years at least. And that's huge. That is huge for this team that has an issue. And people have been complaining about how Kyle Shanahan doesn't prioritize the offensive line, yada, yada, yada. Here it is. This is them prioritizing the offensive line, them keeping their guy. They know what they got next year. They're not going to have to figure out a first-round pick or a second-round pick for an offensive lineman. We don't have to worry about that because of this deal. Now left tackle we could talk about, and I think left tackles are a little easier to kind of suss out than right tackles because of the responsibility they have. And kind of I feel like with left tackle more than right tackle, you can kind of just see a guy and know he's good. So I'm pro this move. I know we haven't said the most flattering things of Colton McKivitz on this podcast, and Niners Twitter hasn't said the most flattering of things of him in the past, but he is a starting level right tackle, and that's all you can ask for in the NFL today.
And the market.
Yep.
That's what you pay for. You know, look, again, if you're not evaluating Colton McKivitz through the lens of the deal that he's on for the return on investment, including the draft pick, then you're doing it all wrong. Getting a starting level right tackle that late in the draft, paying him next to nothing, it's just good business. And now the price of business, because he is a starting right tackle, because he is a starting right tackle in the NFL, it goes up. Yesterday's price is not today's price. But what they've gotten out of Colton McKivitz was essentially what they got out of Mike McGlinchey for 1/15th of the price. And if you want very good right tackles, I just want you to put this in your mind. If you want a Hall of Fame, all-pro level right tackle, then you've got to pay him a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money. And this is the last thing I'll say. Just drafting anybody who can play right tackle, just drafting anyone, doesn't solve it either, because they have to be good. See Kingsley Su'Yamaida, see Roger Rosengarten, because neither of those guys are good, and everyone was crying when they drafted Ricky Pierce all over him.
Yep. But I couldn't say it better myself, Jason. I think this is overall a good deal, and you can't go out and replace guys like that, and the Niners have them. And I mean, especially considering too the money they already have tied up with Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Diamador Lenore. Like, where are you getting this money to pay a high-end right tackle? You know, it just doesn't exist. The other move the Niners made today, Jason, we touched on it a little bit. Kendrick Bourne making his triumphant return. And what did you just say about McKivitz, Jason? Yesterday's price is not today's price. That goes to show that last week's price was not today's price for Kendrick Bourne, because I do not think the Niners were offering anything near a 1-year deal with max value of $5 million last week. And then all of a sudden, Juwan Jennings' shoulder comes out, bum, whatever may happen with that CT scan at this point, which I'm not a doctor on this podcast. Maybe I'll get my girlfriend to explain it to me, what the difference between an MRI and a CT scan is.
Oh, look at this guy celebrating that he has a girlfriend in front of me. That's crazy.
Flex. I know, right? I have
ridiculous.
A girlfriend. But you know, you have Kendrick Bourne now. You have insurance, and as you said, Jason, How many players received a target yesterday?
Two.
1, 2,
For wide
3,
receivers.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 players received a target yesterday. 2 of them were wide receivers, and that's something that has to be fixed. And Kendrick Bourne is the quickest option to fix that.
Yeah. Regardless of whether Juwan Jennings is ready to go or not, you know, you can say that this is reactionary, but again, first of all, kudos to Kendrick Bourne, man. Oh my God, patience is a virtue. And my goodness, did you make the right move right away? Because you watch Washington play, you realize they're going to be fine with McLaurin and Debo. By the way, shout out to Debo. Man. Yeah, way to go, buddy. Yeah, way to go, buddy. And you know that you were going to be fighting with KJ Osborne and all these other guys for spots. I believe they have another wide receiver there that is like of starting ilk, something like that. Fine. You watch the 49ers and then Juwan Jennings gets hurt, George Kittle gets hurt. You know, you see Russell Gage gets no targets, Marquez Valdes-Scantling gets no targets. Man, you and your agent are sitting there like they're literally Tony Montana and the drug dealer, like going back and forth, like laughing on the phone while the money is counting, because that was the smartest move you could have ever made. So he's gonna have to play regardless, and he's gonna play as soon as he gets there. He knows the playbook, all of those things. He'll slide right into Jawan's role. Don't be shocked if you see Jawan at X, Pearsall at Z, Kendrick Bourne at F. Let's roll, man. You need more. You need more at the receiver position, man. Sky Moore is not going to get it done. Marquez Valdes-Scantling was a cardio king, like I thought he would be. Russell Gage is just not going to get himself open. Like, it's done. Like it's a nice story, and that's it. Like, watching the film against a really competitive secondary, he's not going to factor in, which is why he's been able to just bounce around like the way that he has off these injuries. So, yeah, man, Kendrick Bourne, man. I never thought I'd say this, but hell yeah, we're back.
Marquez Valdes-Scantling had 27 snaps yesterday and 0 targets. I didn't notice him once until they said something that he was on the field at the end of the game. I thought he came in after the Jennings. 27 snaps and 0 targets is.
Who'd you think 83 was? Tariq Owens?
Shit. It's fair. You fucking cooked my ass there. You got me on that one. You got me on that one, Jason. All right, so there's today's news. Jason, we covered a lot of the game yesterday, and we'll continue to cover a lot of the games the rest of the season on Instant Reaction. So if you want our full, and yesterday's was very fun because Jason and I, the first 30 minutes was a state of euphoria, because I don't think either of us expected to come onto that podcast talking about a 49ers win. So if you want our full thoughts about everything that happened yesterday, go watch that.
That was fun.
We're not going to dive in super deep. But do you have any thoughts 24 hours removed from the 49ers 17-13 victory over the Seattle Seahawks that we didn't necessarily touch on yesterday?
Yeah, Marcus Siegel's a stud. Upton Stout played much better as the game went along. This defense is legit. D. Winters is a stud. Sammy O in the little the few snaps he had was very good.
Forced fumble.
CJ West, Alfred Collins. We got some.
Does it mean that we should just refer to them as Alfred West for the rest of the season? Because I think they are the same people at points.
CJ West, Alfred Collins. We got a ways to go. We got some improvements to make. Okay. Michael Williams, fine. I didn't see anything that really alerted me to anything crazy. Didn't really make me jump out of my seat, anything like that. Shout out to Nick Bosa, man. Thank you for being the closer. That's what we pay you for. So, yeah, the defense is legit. Offense. Christian McCaffrey, I love you, buddy, but please, can we stop throwing you the ball every single time? We've got to find a way to get Kyle Shanahan, man. Hey, look, you're a genius, but my God, man, I don't know if handing him the ball or giving him the ball 31 times is the way to go for, his sustained success. But, yeah, Brock, some throws that were bad, some throws that were good, but the throws that mattered, you made it happen. You win. I'll take that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't feel too differently than I did. I just feel way better about the defense given what Salah was showing, what Siegel did, what Upton Stout was able to do, finally figure it out. And, Ronaldo Green gave up that one catch, but, Diamandola Nor didn't give up anything. This defense is going to be legit, and I'm very excited for that. And it's only going to get better. That's the best part.
Daniel Garcia also wants to shout out Kalia Davis. He was very noticeable yesterday, at least
Yes.
watching the game. Don't know
93.
how much he popped on film. How concerned are we that the offensive line allowed 11 pressures and 6 of them were Trent Williams?
I'm concerned. Trent Williams never goes to training camp, never does anything in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just goes out there and he's Trent Williams. And then Trent Williams this offseason, he did everything. Training camp. You know, he practiced a lot. And that's what happened? Yeah, I'm nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Color me as nervous. Maybe it's seeing Superman bleed for the first time. Like, you never think that you'd ever see anything like that. So maybe it's just the shock of that. But yeah, color me nervous. I am very nervous. Do I believe that Trent Williams is the player that'll bounce back from something like that and we can laugh about this after week 1? For sure. For sure. But I've never seen Trent be like that. It's the most that he's had since he's been here in 2020, and it's not even close to the most. Like, I think he allowed 2 or 3 in a game.
To use the term Shaquille O'Neal uses quite a bit, he looked a bit barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken.
Like, he looked lost at certain points.
And he did everything all offseason. So I can't blame Rust. Why would I blame Rust? The guy literally never does anything in training camp and preseason. And why should he? He's the greatest left tackle who's ever played the game of football.
Mm-hmm.
And he did everything all offseason, and then that's what happened. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. I'm super nervous. That's the one thing that I don't want to say out loud. I'm saying it out loud now, but I'm nervous. I'm scared. That's worst case scenario for this offensive line if Trent Williams just all of a sudden is not that guy anymore.
It's scary because I didn't think in the history of this podcast, Jason, we would have to ever talk about the idea of Trent Williams maybe being not good. And it's 1 week, Jason, 1 week. We could wash it away next week. We could wash it away in the next month, but it was alarming. And I know it was alarming because I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I did not watch the film. I'm not a Rich Madrid type. But it was noticeable yesterday. It was noticeable watching the game.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Rich does this funny thing of like saying I watched the tape, but he didn't send it out to any of us. Like, oh, well, watch the film, Bozo. Well, send it. I'd love to. I'd love to. I'm sorry.
Put some public pressure on him.
You keep going.
Jason, the last one I really want to talk about, and it seems to be not a point of contention today. Brock Purdy's game yesterday. I have a very poor comparison, and I'm going to left hand up poor comparison it right here.
Left hand up. Who are
we? Commanders. And it'll be a way to segue into something you want us to watch here. But you remember the Tampa Bay game last year where Jake Moody went 3 for 6 on field goals, and people wanted you to forget how bad the game was because he hit the game-winning kick?
No, I don't remember that game at all.
You don't remember that game? Well, I remember it. That's kind of how I felt about Purdy's performance yesterday. I didn't think it was very good. And people seem to want to erase that because he went 7 for 7 on the final drive.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't thrilled with his performance, even down to his last throw of the game. And maybe the film tells you something different. Tell me if I'm wrong. But even down to his last throw, because if Tariq Woolen had any interest in making an interception on that play, he probably would have made an interception on that play. I understand why people said he had a good game because there was points where he did look good. And I'm not trying to take away the 7 for 7 on the final drive because he was a big part of why the Niners won the game in the end. But I just can't get over, and maybe the left shoulder injury had something to do with it. I just can't get over how bad some of those passes came out of his hand and how loopy and how they didn't have any oomph behind it. Both of his interceptions were just very. If Jimmy Garoppolo threw those interceptions, people would be murdering him, right? And even too, could you imagine if it was Jimmy Garoppolo throwing that out route to Ricky Pearsall that Woolen got his finger on? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say it was a bad game. I just don't think it was as good as people gave him credit for, just because he saved the day at the end of the game. Is that a fair thing to say?
It's a completely fair thing to say, and I didn't walk away watching the film like, oh my God, what an amazing gutsy performance. Like, yeah, it was gutsy, like he finished, but like, you just look. Games like that are going to happen in the NFL. Games like that are going to happen in week 1. Games like that are going to happen against a defense that's very good. By the way, Seattle is a very good defense.
Yeah.
A very good defense. Okay. For everybody who wants to say, I was overreacting and, Mike McDonald. No, Mike McDonald's got those boys playing and they're going to figure it out. They're going to be a top 5 defense for sure. It's fine, man. It's fine. Games like this happen. Now, what you want to, see is that these games don't happen too much.
Yeah.
Right? And you do have to give credit to somebody who didn't play their best game and they found a way to win.
Yeah.
And they kept going. So I'm good. But I'm not here rushing to praise like, oh my God, like Purdy was incredible. He wasn't incredible. They won. And he made the play at the end of the game. I don't see what's hard about saying that. Like it's not controversial and it's not a hot take. Some of those throws were good and some of them were bad. Like that's it. Go ahead, Andrew.
I guess maybe the most unfair way to look at it and the way I was thinking about it, maybe this is something we will track for this season and the next 4 years. But was that a $265 million quarterback game? I would say no.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes
Okay.
and no. Sorry. So,
and I will admit that's not the most fair way to look at it, but
no, it's not.
It's how you could look at it at this point because this is
that's how he's going to be judged that way for the rest of the year.
The most annoying thing for me at this point is, and I was joking about it on the couch yesterday, is how often Fox would hit did you know he was the last pick in the draft? Did you know he was? And it's like, well, no, that's no longer the comparison. He is now a $265 million quarterback. There is no more. I understand his draft pick. At some point, the draft spot does not matter. He is now a $265 million quarterback. And to me, yesterday was not a $265 million quarterback performance. So I'm curious to see what your thought is on that.
Yes and no, right? Yes, because like the first game off of the contract, you want to see somebody who's just sharp the entire way of the game and just but he finished the way that you're supposed to finish. He finished and he lifted when Kittle and Jennings weren't there, and it's just Pearsall. And you can't throw the football to any other wide like that's, and then the ball's in his hands with a chance to finish the game, and then he went out there and finished it. I don't care how much you pay a guy. That's what you pay. That's what you want for your franchise quarterback. So yes and no. It wasn't the most beautiful day all the way through. There was definitely some throws that were concerning.
Yeah.
But hey, man, game on the line, chips are down. Look, does Purdy need the Avengers or does he not? And that's what you're trying to figure out with this contract. And he didn't have the Avengers. He didn't. Kittle, Jennings, not there. Trent Williams not playing his best game. Ricky Pearsall, the only wide receiver that he could throw the football to. Christian McCaffrey just catching the football and running for his life. By the way, man, I'm a little bit more nervous about Christian McCaffrey after that game, just watching it over again. I think he had like negative 46 rushing yards over expectancy in next gen stats. But when Trent's not playing well, when Kittle's out, when Jennings is gone, and you have a chance to win the game, yeah. So that it looked like the contract was fine for me there.
So I guess to continue does he need the Avengers? Would Jake Tonjes be Captain America picking up the hammer?
Jake Tonjes
It's a good reference.
is
Please give me credit for the Marvel.
no,
reference
it's a
there.
good one. It's
Thank
a good
you,
one.
thank
No,
you, thank you.
no. But the reason that he can't be Captain America is because Captain America is the event. He's the leader of the Avengers.
No, that's fair.
He is Agent Coulson from the Avengers.
That's too deep of where I gotta go.
He's Agent Coulson, who Loki kills in the Avengers, and then he comes back in.
Okay.
Yeah, and like he's just like, hey, I'll step in and I'll help a little bit, here and there or whatever. But yeah, no, Cap is the leader of the Avengers. Cap's the leader. And the reason that he's able to lift Thor's hammer is because he's so worthy. Jake Tonjes is somebody like that is just like filling in. So I got Agent Coulson for him.
Dude, Jake Tonjes, the arc we're gonna get from
the
him
catch four.
The catch four. You want to hear a real sentence I wrote? Let me pull it up on NinersNation.com. I wrote this because Jake Tonjes was my number one star. NinersNation.com. Go read it.
Nice.
I wrote. Hang on, I got it here. Purdy forced a pass into the end zone that seemed destined to end up in the hands of Woolen. But like Dwight Clark in 1982 or Terrell Owens in 1999 or Vernon Davis in 2012, Tonjes went and got the ball, grabbing victory from the jaws of defeat. And that's the best way I can describe it. Because Purdy, I cannot get over how hard Purdy tried to throw that interception and Tonjes just snatching it out of Woolen's hands.
What I find funny is that people were just like really like, we're joking about it being the catch four, and people were like, if social media back in the day, I'm like, bro, like, if Dwight Clark doesn't catch that pass, it just goes incomplete. Mm-hmm. If Jake Tonjes doesn't catch that pass, it's game over. Interception. It's not the same thing at all. Like, it's clearly not the same thing at all. And all you have to do is just use your eyes. Like, what the hell?
Jason, one final thing we kind of got to touch on, but you politely, you sent me a video.
I did.
That we, instead of us giving our thoughts, thanks, shout out Rick. What's going on? Faithful cover from Chicago, a diehard 49er fan. Hello, Empire.
Hell yeah.
Hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to subscribe to Jason Bunte's YouTube channel. But Jason, let's get this video up here. So and can you explain to me? I'm not hip like you. Who is this?
That is the man on the screen is Cameron of the It Is What It Is podcast of Diplomats fame, New York City Harlem legend, and Cameron has some thoughts about special teams. So
Viet says all four happened on 3rd and 3. By the way, that's a great comparison for the catch four. All four have now happened on 3rd and 3.
Wow.
But Jason, just give me a thumbs up. Make sure the audio works once this starts. So we're good. But here we go.
Special teams, man. Special teams, missing extra points, missing field goals. These kickers, as much as I hear these football players talking about, they don't even practice with us. They got their own field. They just be down there kicking. Cities are dependent on these foot. And you be letting cities down. The 49ers field goal was point shaving today. His day kicker, Moody. I spoke to some 49ers fans last night. They said, Cam, your show's powerful enough. Start the petition to get them the out of here, man. We don't know what the he was doing. Special teams is really important. You can sit there and have the best game, quarterbacking, running, defense, or whatever. These missed points and missed field goals mean a lot in these games, and a lot of games yesterday came down to that. If not came down to it, it was part of the score and the result at the end of the game. Special teams, man. Special
slime. Thank you, twin. Good looks, twin. If you don't want to listen to one New York person tell you, listen to Cameron. No. Listen to the people around the league that are like my group chat blew up with how is Moody still on your team, bro?
We don't need to dive in too deep to it, Jason, because people know how we feel.
I'm done with public statements. Thank you, Cameron. No, thank you.
Cameron. I'll give the public statement. On a day where you saw Chris Boswell hit a 60-yard field goal to win the game, on a day where you saw a guy named Tyler Loop for the Ravens hit a 52-yard field goal, rookie, 5th-round pick, not a top 100 pick, on a day where you saw Matt Prater, 41 years old, 19 years in the league, make a game-winning 32-yard field goal, How can you feel? It's not necessarily about the makes and misses, Jason Aponte. How do you feel comfortable with Jake Moody making any of those field goals I just listed? 32-yard game winner, a 52-yard kick, a 60-yard game winner. Do you feel comfortable with him making any of those? I don't, because I watched him clank a 27-yard attempt yesterday. Right now, in my opinion, Jake Moody's range is 26 yards. That is not good. That is not good. That sentence is not good. So listen, the misses are the misses, right? He's hitting 52% since the bye week last year. It just comes down to, are you comfortable with Jake Moody making anything beyond 30 yards at this moment? If the answer is yes, I'll try whatever drug you're on right now. But the answer should be no. The answer should be no. And that's what it should be, is do you feel comfortable with this man making a 30-yard attempt? No. Full stop. And that's it. And that's the big problem. That's the Jake Moody coverage for today, because, again, what else can we say that A, we have not already said on this podcast, and B, has not already been said on social media? So there's your kicker conversation. At the end of the day, the Niners win 17-13, and we're good. But the fact you cannot trust your kicker to make a 30-yard field goal at this moment feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Well, I'll say this. Kyle Shanahan, you better start going for it on fourth downs, buddy.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Anything else you got, Jason?
No, look, really big win, divisional win. The 49ers are going to be fine next week against the Saints, regardless of who's playing. I think everything's going to be okay, guys. Everything's going to be okay. And, I wouldn't fret too much about this.
Yeah.
So, if the 49ers make a choice and they make a move for, whatever it is with the kicker, it sounds like they're open to it. Greg Joseph is sitting in the house just waiting for the call. Yeah. But I will tell you this. Can I make a prediction?
Yeah.
Ross Dwelly's going to be back on this team sooner than later.
Okay.
Sooner than later.
Better not be touching Jake Tongich's spot. It out there. I had him on my 53-man roster the whole time.
I was about to say, imagine leaving him off your 53-man roster. No, I think Ross Dwelly's going to be on his way back. He probably should be on the way back to the building, right now, honestly, at this point. So, get ready for Ross the Boss, man. Look, everything's going to be fine, man. Look, there's no good time to have injuries, but right now is probably the best time to have injuries. Especially given the, look, the Saints, the Cardinals game, I'm very much way more nervous about, because those are divisional games and those are weird. It seems like it's a running joke on this podcast, but they're gonna be fine. They could potentially be 4-0 heading into that game against the Rams, that's when you're gonna need everybody to be there.
Healthy,
Who did they cut to make room for Bourne?
I don't think the move hasn't been made official yet.
But they'll just cut MVS or
Gage
or Gage or it's not a
Moody.
Big deal. It's not. Hey, look! If you eliminate the kicker, then you never have to worry about going for it on fourth down, because you got to go for it. So I'm fine. Look, I think the 49ers are fine. I myself feel very safe, which is my favorite saying from the Phoenician scheme. I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm vibing. You're looking around. The San Francisco 49ers today have the best record in the NFL. Tied with a bunch of teams, but it could be worse. You could be in last place.
It could be
Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, exactly. If you're looking for 3 stars, we did 3 stars yesterday on Instant Reaction. That'll be housed on Instant Reaction. If you want to read my 3 stars, NinerNation.com. I'm going to be posting my weekly 3 stars. Going to be keeping track right now. The star of the 2025 season, most points, is Jake Tonges. There you go. So if you want to go find our 3 stars, that is on Instant Reaction yesterday. We will be back Friday. Can we do Friday lunchtime? Because your boy's out of town Friday afternoon.
Oh, all right, Hollywood. Well, we'll have a Saints content creator on there. I know a guy.
You know a guy. Sounds.
I know a guy.
A lot of Spencer Rattler talk. Looking forward to it.
You know what's funny? I say this all the time, and I joke around with it. Like I said, I don't particularly enjoy watching film. I don't think it's fun. it's fun to come up on some things that like maybe you didn't see, and you're just like, oh, this is what. But imagine being a Saints analyst or content creator, and you have to watch the All 22. Like those guys need to be paid more, in my opinion.
Yeah. The film is rough. I love that you guys watch it so I can learn from you guys. So it's really cool of you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, that's it. Niners 1-0. Saints coming up. We'll be live Friday at about lunchtime. We will also be live Sunday about 1:05 after the Niners ideally beat the Saints for instant reaction. Jason.
Oh wait, we play at 1 on Sunday. Oh, it's up and it's
10 a.m.
stuck. No, it's 1 o'clock. It's up and it's stuck. That means I get to go outside and hang out with people and watch football for once. Oh my god.
There we go. We like it. We get to enjoy the afternoon slate as well. Sorry, excuse me, the late afternoon slate in your terms, Jason. But that'll be it here for the Sprint Right Option podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already, subscribe to Jason Aponte's YouTube channel. Follow both of us on Twitter. You guys know it at this point. Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners. Don't get too sad, man. We're fine. Everything's fine.
We'll be fine. McCorkle Jones is our fate is in the hands of McCorkle Jones. Nothing wrong with that.
Mac Jones, number 10. Nothing can go wrong.
Number 10 has been such a good number in the recent years for the 49ers. Bump. Ba-da-bum, bump, 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 bump.